Welcome, everybody, to the Homebrew Heroes podcast. If you are a returning listener, thank you for coming back, and if you are new to our podcast, thank you for coming. We are a group of nerdy best friends who happen to love Dungeons and Dragons, and we wanted to share our adventures with everyone. We are now into our second campaign where we are battling evil spirits, demons, evil queens, and so much more. So sit back, take a trip through our homebrewed campaign, and be ready for shenanigans that will last a lifetime. If you are all caught up on our episodes and are yearning for more D&D goodness, check out our friends over at Top of the Round. You can find them on Instagram at Top of the Round, and they are an actual play podcast with great storytelling and characters. So go check them out and get a double dose of role-playing. If you're looking for some other podcasts to listen to, go check out the Star Trek Wars podcast, where you can get your fix on the final frontier. This episode of HeavenFall was brought to you by our sponsors over at The Foundry. They are a company that help bring your greatest jewelry desires to life with super personalized adornments. You can find them on Instagram as well at _foundry_jewelers. If you can dream it, draw it, or describe it, they can do it. So with all that being said, let's go to our intro music and let's start this week's episode. All right, welcome back, everybody. When last we left you guys, you had split up. Dorian and Zephyr, you guys went on a detective mission to investigate a dead husband. Come to find out that this whole thing was a murder-suicide between a hooker from a brothel and everything. And Randall, you guys found out, even with his speech impediment, is like a world-class detective. And you guys decided to dump Tony off on him. Randall Sherlock. And Tony Watson. On the other side, the girls in Argento, Nowhere, Britta, and Argento, they decided to go down to the slums and investigate another thing that's going on with the phenomenon. Things seem to be connected with the fish market part of the Gray District, and so you guys went down there to try and investigate that. And Argento, separated from you guys, was met with a strange individual who said, "Hey, help find these 4 broken pieces of Nefara's amulet so we could bring her back all the power. And in return, Argento, I will give you the exact location of your shadow demon that you've been looking for forever." And so now you guys are faced with a choice to find these gems or ignore it completely and just not aid Nefara in her quest to get these back. As far as other things, too, you guys also did get a notice that strange things were happening at a nearby orphanage, the Beaumont Orphanage. And so you guys can investigate that if you'd like. What would you guys like to do?
Are we all still standing around after getting yelled at?
Yeah, quick recap of what happened to me.
I'm pretty sure you got punched, Dorian, by the
3
girls.
times.
But I healed myself.
You guys were also confronted. I think Britta mostly was confronted about this evil darkness and Nefara, because the other 3, Nowhere, Zephyr, and Argento, are kind of like, I don't know if this is exactly what we signed up for, and y'all are keeping stuff from us. Especially you over there.
We never called it the Order of Sunshine and Rainbows. I thought we were pretty straightforward, that we fight, evil.
The
demons.
Original evil.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
shit.
like the worst thing you could imagine.
All you said was that it was a great evil.
Yeah.
I have a different great evil than you.
Is your great evil like a great guy? Because I meant like a big evil, like a bad evil, like a not so...
She's gonna punch you again.
Keep talking.
I'm going to set as a, what's it called? As a reaction? As a preemptive measure? What do you call it? It's like,
reaction. You want to set a reaction.
I want to set a reaction. If she swings at me again, I'm going to dodge.
Okay, that's fine. That works. Nowhere doesn't know that.
Have
but
we
you-
heard from
Does that give you advantage on
Argento
that or
exactly what happened in
Huh?
the forest yet?
Get a
Yeah.
He kind of tried to explain it, and then you guys went off on another tangent about other things.
No, he told me because
Oh, yeah, he did tell-
We
walked-
talked about it.
Yeah,
you guys-
were left behind.
Yeah, Argento did tell Nowhere about what happened and what the guy said and what he offered.
But I meant
Why
like
should I see
everybody
2
else in the
weeks?
party.
He has not
We
told
kind
everybody
of
else.
summarized
I was more of just scowling over at Dorian.
Okay.
because we did kind of mention it a little
Mm-hmm.
to him.
Okay.
So now we know.
Yeah,
But-
evil's bad, guys. Sorry.
But do we know?
I don't care what you know.
Yes, you do.
Nowhere gives no shits.
Maybe we'll
If
call
it
you
wasn't,
Notion.
if it wasn't for your persuasion,
No
she
shit.
would have left.
Maybe we should call it a day so everyone can cool down and we can pick back up in the morning.
What time is it?
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now, where you guys left off and everybody meeting back together, I would say it's probably 7 or 8 at night.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's a reasonable time to go to bed. Or start going towards. But yeah.
Yeah, let's
get a
call
bite
it a day. We'll go back
Have
to
we ever
the
eaten?
armory.
We had breakfast.
Oh,
this
yeah,
We had
no,
morning.
we did have breakfast. We should have dinner.
Let's have dinner, yeah.
Let's be real people in this world.
When
Eat.
when everyone else like starts to move, can I grab Dorian by like the back of his shirt and just keep him back for a moment?
Remember, he's
I would
6
take
foot
that as a
6.
swing.
No, you did say if she goes to swing at
I
you.
did not swing. I just grabbed you.
I would.
So Nowhere is going to.
How specific do I need to be?
You
If
Pretty-
she makes a move towards me, I move away.
But she hasn't
You've been
swung
playing
at
with
you
me
yet.
for almost a year, and I think you know how
Jesus.
specific
Yeah.
you could be with me.
haha.
So you guys decide to go find a place to eat dinner, and before everybody starts moving, and Nowhere grabs Dorian to speak with him.
If you have a nice and considerate DM, be sure to give them a hug.
I'm not gonna kill you. Relax. Not yet, anyways. When everyone's like a good distance away, I look up at Dorian. If you keep anything from me again, this great evil is going to be the least of your concerns.
Do you have any more questions at this time?
Don't be cute.
I'm just playing customer service here. Is there anything else you'd like to know? Evil is bad. Demons hate you. They want to eat you. Even though you look like one.
I just have like that condescending smile on my face, and I just reach up and pat his cheek
Ooh.
and be like,
No,
Is that a swing?
she's patting your
It
cheek.
was a swing with a finger.
She's swinging her hand, man.
You are on edge, Dorian.
I did punch him twice. It's
That is true.
understandable.
I mean, maybe you
I have
kind of,
infinite
maybe you
feelings,
kind of,
so no
maybe you,
worries.
maybe you kind of flinch, Dorian, but you don't like take it as, oh, she's fucking hitting me. Basically. Well, so you guys, the choices you have to find dinner here, you guys can go to the inn in Hightown or the tavern in Hightown, or you can try and find food that is.
I believe I promised 3 meals a day with the Order of Cross and Shield. Was
Yes,
I lying?
yes, you did. Yes, you did. You
So far,
promised
based
I
on what
full
you've
of-
given them,
and a bed.
yes.
We gave you a bed.
I know that.
So,
You
yeah.
haven't fed them once yet.
Yeah, we had breakfast.
They fed
Yeah,
us
breakfast.
once.
Okay,
So
once, maybe.
I didn't make that promise.
It was a
That
good
was all him.
breakfast. It was a
That's
hearty
true.
breakfast.
That's true.
Plenty of fish. Oh.
Couldn't we
Do
just
you
go
wanna
back
punch him?
to?
Yes, I'm gonna punch him.
Argento throws down his iPhone in rage.
I'm punching you.
Was your reaction specifically for Nowhere?
Yep.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said specifically
Go back to
nowhere.
the tapes.
He said specifically
All right.
Well,
nowhere.
I will attempt to do something because I imagine I can see Fishboy coming.
Well, he's gonna try and hit you.
I mean, he's like waddling over with his
24 crit.
giant
He's wearing
floppers.
shoes.
Oh
Okay,
my
go
God.
ahead. And does that hit you?
A 24 does not hit
Yeah, right.
me. Of course it hits.
And that was a crit?
Yeah.
Ooh.
5 damage.
It's an unarmed
damage.
strike.
5 damage.
Okay.
5 damage. Critical.
Critical 5.
I'm gonna take a step back and cast Cure Wounds on myself for like the 3rd time because luckily we don't use spell slots.
Couldn't we just go back to the Legionnaires Guild for food,
Yeah.
like
hey.
we did for breakfast?
And it's free there.
Yeah. Maybe they have meat.
Shut up.
Vegetables.
You're about to get hit again.
Meat.
Maybe we can get.
Do you eat meat?
Yes.
I don't know.
He's answered this question before.
As
You'd be
a
a pescivore, right? You eat other fish,
pescivore.
right?
Yes.
Would you?
What color fish are you?
Omnivore, then, right?
Blue.
You're a
and-
blue fish.
Blue, white, and purple.
Blue,
right?
white, and purple.
We should really
Look
give
at the
descriptions
Discord.
about
Look at the
ourselves.
Discord. Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
viewers,
people-
look at the Discord that you guys don't actually have
I was talking to him. I was talking to
online
Dorian.
capabilities.
But we should give descriptions of ourselves.
What does everybody look like? Maybe we should go around. Give a physical description.
At this moment, we're going to take a brief intermission for the characters to finally introduce themselves.
If you like ale.
All right, so let's go ahead and do it then, because we haven't really given a formal introduction.
God, this is the 4th episode and we're doing this.
Hey, it happens. At least
I mean,
people,
we all
if you have
introduced
listened in
ourselves
these
to
last
each other.
4, if you have listened in these last
True.
4 episodes, thank you. You've earned this.
So are we describing what we look like?
If you guys give as much as you want to give to our
as much
listeners.
as little.
Oh, I'm all open to give everybody everything about me.
Okay, Andy.
We know.
So for those of you that are listening, I am Adrian. I am the dungeon master for the Homebrew Heroes.
What do you look like?
I am about 6'3". I'm just kidding. 5'7".
He's a sentient mist of bad decisions, and rocks fall, people die.
Essentially.
He's the glow cloud.
Oh yes, he is the glow
He is the
cloud.
glow-
If you're looking for an appearance, I am one of those whose genetics symbolize a Native American, but looks represent those of a Cholo. So picture that.
Wow.
Moving on. Rob,
What, in real life?
Describe your character,
Your
not
character.
who are
He
you?
described himself in real life.
Because he
the
doesn't have a
dungeon master.
character.
Okay, well,
He has many characters.
much like in real life, Dorian is a pale white boy. However, this person has jet black hair, kind of Keanu Reevesy, but not so stupid looking.
Excuse
Icy
you.
blue eyes. 6'4" in height. He's probably the tallest in the party. Is
You are
that
the
right?
tallest.
I thought you were 6'6".
Let's make it 6'6".
No, you-
6'6".
You're right. It was 6'6".
Oh yeah, you just grew 2 inches.
Yeah, man.
Just
these things
suddenly.
happen.
Hey, he's a grower, not a shower.
Oh my god.
Like 35 years old, 165. Dorian's a human, so human-like in appearance.
Okay. Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
Audrey, go ahead.
I play Britta Flameboar. She's a human as well. She's been in the order since she was 15. She's now 20. She's short black
I
hair,
know, I'll get it in a minute.
pale gray eyes.
Can
You
you-
could almost call them silver.
Ooh.
Oh.
And she's feisty and momish.
All right, let's move on over to Erin.
I play Nowhere. She is a half tiefling who, if you look at a distance, she looks black, but the closer that you get, you see that she's actually more of a blackish blue. She has gold eyes that have no pupil, no iris, just solid gold.
Creepy as shit.
Typically, so if you were to see her in a dark alley, she wears very dark, neutral clothes. So if you see her in the alley, all you would see is her eyes. She has black hair, shaved on one side, but the rest of the hair is pulled together in a braid that's hung over, and she has 3 piercings, 2 that sit on the bridge of her ears, and then 1 small piercing on her left.
Can you tell us about her horns? How horny is she?
You're so funny. She has a very strange crown of horns that is very unique. Like, you would not see this with normal tieflings. She has 1 horn that's centered, that's slightly curved inward, and then she has the normal tiefling-like horns. One that kind of ram-like, where they curl underneath her ears, and then 2 offshoots that kind of go upwards and they curve inwards. So she's very odd and very scary looking.
Creepy. Zephyr, or Andy in real life.
Captain Reeves is a 5'7" satyr. He has chestnut hair that borders on mahogany. His skin is more of a tawny brown, very earthy tone, and his eyes usually switch between dark rose and a sparkling purple.
Ooh.
He has obsidian horns that roll around the back of his ears and come to a point much like those of Nowhere as well, but they go a little bit more pointed in the back. He has highlights of gray around the base of his ears, the tip of his nose, and the tops of his hooves. He has a pretty...
You should probably mention his reddish fur.
That's what I said. It's a chestnut fur that
I didn't hear
that borders on mahogany.
I thought you were talking about your hair.
He has long... I keep forgetting. He has long chestnut locks that wave very majestically around his ears. He also sports a 2-sided tooth crimson earring in his left ear. His build is usually that of what you would find on a mariner or a sailor who's been in the sun a bit too long. And he has a very long, about 6-inch goatee that reaches just the top of his chest.
Goatee.
What's he wearing?
For those of our gaming fans out there, if they've ever played the game Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, there is a character who plays a little bit of the side of Kenway called Adewale. He sort of has Adewale's outfit, just not as covered as Adewale does. So very, very flowing, but also very dark and kind of earthy tones.
You say not as covered?
Oh no, his chest is bare, man. It's a very long V-neck about halfway down his chest.
You can see his chest hair.
You can definitely see
Ooh.
my chest hair.
Chest hair.
So he does wear pants.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
I wasn't sure if it was like a Philatides kind of thing.
No,
where
but
it just,
there's a hole
it just
in the back for his
disappears in
tail.
there.
There's
Okay.
a hole in the back for my tail.
For your
Gotta have
tail.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention that Britta is also short as shit. She's only 5'5".
Oh yeah, and Nowhere's 5'10". Sorry, forgot that.
Not to shame anyone out there who's shorter than 5'5". You're fine.
You're
We
just
love you.
bite-sized.
We love you.
All right, thank you. And we're going to go over to Colton.
Fish boy.
Rude.
So for Argento, he is a Natu-Krillari, which is basically a fish person. So when you imagine this race, imagine Abraham from Hellboy. That's basically what he is.
Mixed with a beta.
Yeah, mixed with the beta fish. So Argento is 37, 6'1", approximately weighing 200 pounds. So he's all right.
Damn.
He's a skinny guy.
Fish boy's big.
Yeah, he's tall.
He's the tallest out of the 3 of us.
200 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fish.
It's the armoring from the scales.
It's diet fish.
Oh, wow. Way back to season 1.
So Argento has pure black eyes with blue, purple, and white scales for skin, and his hair is his fins, which he kind of has a curl over just underneath his hat, with underneath his hat. So pretty much Argento is your classic looking gunslinger, giant dust coat, a very wide brimmed hat with a chainmail shirt, and his outfit is custom fit, so his dorsal fin fits out the backside. That's pretty much it.
Sorry.
Has your dorsal fin ever?
By
like,
the way,
flailed?
Zephyr is the oldest of the
He's
group.
pissed.
He's 97.
Gotcha.
Goddamn. But he doesn't look a day over
I do not
35.
look a day over 20.
20.
Mhm.
And nowhere somewhere in her 20s, she kind of lost count.
All right. There you go. For those of you that are listening, brief description of the characters you've been following for 3 episodes.
Please look at our Instagram or join our Discord, and then maybe you can actually see it.
Yeah, we'll give you guys information for our Discord. So if you want to chat with us, ask us questions, or just leave a comment, we'll give you guys access to that. And you can do that if you follow our Patreon. We are getting our tiers built currently. We have a $1 tier currently for if you're a fan and you just like what we do, just join for $1 a month and just give us some support. And we will have more tiers opening up soon. You know, one of them will be Discord access, stuff like that. So be ready because big things are coming from the Homebrew Heroes, guys. Now let's get back to adventuring. So, coming back from our introductions, you guys were looking for a place to eat, and you guys decided that trying to find food in the slums wasn't for you, and you guys generally want to avoid things as a group in Hightown. So you guys are going to go to the Legionnaires Guild just north of everything in Hightown, which is still in Loxford, to find some food. So you guys make your way up there?
Yeah.
All right. So when you guys get there, you guys can see that Danio and Margera are leaving the building, and they kind of stop and say, "Hey, you guys, there's somebody else. I know they got a new crew for the night. If you're gonna get some dinner, hop on in there."
Thanks. Dario?
Danio.
Danio. I know Danio. Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks, Danio.
Anytime. And so they keep walking off to do whatever they're gonna do. And so when you guys get inside, you guys can see that there's these 2 older women running the line now.
Do
I
we know
their
them?
names.
Being in the Legionnaires Guild, yes, you would know them.
I would hope. And their names are
One is Glenda.
Glenda.
Mm-hmm.
Or one alphabet?
I was about to say.
And the other one?
Is she the good one?
The good one.
Andy.
I'm waiting for my DM to tell me more about what I know about these people.
So-
As I approach and greet.
So Glenda, you guys know Glenda. She's older. She's probably right now like 93 years old.
Human.
Yeah, she's human. And then she has her friend that is working with her. It is Birdie. Yeah, like the bird, not like Bert-E, like Birdie, like a bird.
So like BIRD.
B-I-R-D.
Like that golf
IE
thing.
or
Yep.
EE?
Birdie. Birdie.
I spelled it with a Y. That'll do.
I mean, it's the same thing.
I greet Birdie and Glinda.
How do you know their names? I guess you're with. Never mind.
We don't know their
15
names.
years.
We
This
don't
may
know
be-
their names.
And this may be interesting
Never
for
mind.
Zephyr because Birdie is actually a satyr as well.
Okay.
Oh.
But she is older as well. She is about 85.
So that's like Zephyr's age.
That's
That is.
for a satyr.
Yeah, that's really young for a
Like-
satyr.
Full grown.
Yeah.
DT.
Are you gonna just stand there and stare at us? Or are you gonna come get some food?
I said hi.
Which one is
Hello,
that?
Glenda, Birdie.
That
Got
one was
some new
Glenda.
recruits here.
Birdie, that's an interesting name. Where do you come from? I'm so interested.
Oh, God.
He talks a lot.
And I walk up to her.
To which one?
To Birdie,
To Birdie.
Yes, asking her these questions.
Glenda's about 97, you said? Or
Yes.
93?
And how much? And how
93,
old was
yeah.
Birdie?
You're going up to Birdie?
Yes,
But
and how old is she?
if
85.
he looks 20, she looks like.
Let's see, if I'm 97 and
Let's
she's
make it
83,
She's
let's say 18. Yeah, let's keep
not
it at
go below
18. But 18 in satyrs
Sorry.
is about 20, 30 and human. It's very strange. We mature at the same.
Yeah, because
rate of
satyrs can age a lot, but they look young, don't they?
We live up to 5 centuries. So yeah, we
So
age
while she's
we mature very fast.
So while she's 85, she looks like she's 18-ish.
The more you know.
You're talking at this girl.
I hop in line and grab some food.
Yeah, I grab a tray. I'm like, he's gonna talk.
And so you went up to Birdie, right?
Yes, I did.
And what did you ask her again?
Hello, your name's Birdie. That's so interesting. Where are you from? What's the origin of your name? I'm so interested.
This is just community service for me. So, and don't call me Birdie for one. Call me B, okay? Because like I don't want to have like an old grandma name like this bitch Glenda over here.
Whoa! I looked to Glenda for a response.
You're looking at Glenda for response, and you can see her. She's walking up to Birdie, and she's got a rolling pin in her hand, like for dough, and she straight up, boom, whacks Birdie, and she's like, "You'll learn to not talk to me like that, Birdie, or else I'm gonna put your head in the fish bucket." And she's like, "Ah, you stupid bitch, hit me in the horns. You know I'm sensitive there."
Captain Riggs raises an eyebrow at that statement of sensitive horns.
So,
what do they have to eat? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a à manger? What is there to eat?
Guy's like, "Oh, well, today we got a nice cornmeal bread. If you want to try that."
No, I'll have that. Please, I'll have 2.
Yeah.
Okay, get in line. Please.
I'm gonna hit that.
Don't hit the old woman.
So that we got your carbohydrates there. We got your cornmeal bread, and then over here for your protein, we have our goat chili.
I don't blame
chuckle.
B.
Captain Riggs chuckles at the fact that they're goat chili.
Fish for breakfast, goat for dinner.
That sounds like my Saturday night.
Wow.
Please
And if you're looking for something to refresh yourself, right at the end of the a la carte bar, you'll find yourself a great thing of our original berry milk.
Berry milk?
Is that like almond milk?
No, it's berry milk.
Is it milk with berries? Do we know what this is? Is it juice? Is it milk with berries?
You guys know what this is.
Is it moo moo cow milk?
Berry milk isn't made all the time, but when they do make it, what it is it's fermented berries and fermented goat's milk mixed into this nice berry milk.
It'll get you drunk.
Riggs, do you make milk?
Don't ask the question. Don't ask the question. That's a bad question to ask.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Let me get back to you on that one, Britta.
Try for a little bit.
All right, grab a tray. Let me get you some food over here.
I hold out my tray. I was already in line.
I've had my tray. I'm like, wait, do they serve us? Is this a serve yourself sort of thing?
No, I will serve you.
I don't like that.
She'll serve you. Sorry, she'll serve you.
Serve away.
It's like you take your tray.
I push
and
my tray towards
she
her.
scoops it onto your thing. So Britta, she
I am
hands.
the master and commander of this
I
merry
punch him.
troop. Okay,
Go ahead and.
do I have to set as a from now on? I would like to set as a reaction to any attack from me by one of my subordinates that I try to dodge it.
Okay, after this punch, I will take that reaction for
19.
everybody.
Jesus.
19 to hit.
No sense of humor. 19 hits, of course.
I think it's a D4 for damage.
D4.
I know you're like, these people are dried.
4. 4.
I'll heal myself. But I
So-
look flustered. I'm not happy about it.
It's okay. We just have to stealthily smack him from now on.
I
Fuck.
smack it.
So
From behind Dorian, I go, "You're doing great."
Yeah. Lots of practice with healing. Hopefully you'll need it.
I would not mind your hands all over me, my friend.
In a room.
So Glenda takes her hand and she puts it in like the bread cornmeal, and she puts it on Britta's tray,
Dirty.
and she says, "Slide on over." And
Slide it
so
down.
you can see that Birdie is kind of like twirling her hair around her horn and then pulling it off, curling it and stuff. Like she learned this cool trick with her horns. And she takes her spoon, like not even like looking at you, and kind of tosses it on your tray. And it gets on you, and she's like, "Next, can you please get out of my way, please?"
Sorry, that got on who?
Britta.
Me.
Okay, good.
And then Glenda, same thing with you, Dorian, since you were next in line, grabs a handful of this cornmeal bread. Like, it's not even like loaves. Like, you imagine cornbread in like squares. It's like they just like.
These nasty old lunch ladies are serving us by hand.
No, Glenda is. Birdie is scooping.
But throwing it at you.
Yeah, Birdie's got like a attitude with the spoon. And
I imagine I'm used to this.
you
So
know
I
them,
know,
yeah.
I know to hold my tray at a 45.
Yeah, you've known Glenda and Birdie for a while. And so Glenda throws your cornmeal crumbles on your tray. And then Birdie, same thing. She says, "All right, move on, please."
You don't even care. Do you?
Fuck no, I don't.
I'm sorry.
As
Birdie.
soon as I'm of age, I'm getting out of this bitch.
What is your legal... What? Of age?
Yes, once I'm a century, Glenda's gonna let my ass go.
What did you do again?
It's not what I did. My goddamn parents that I don't know, they signed me up for servitude for a century with the cross and shield.
From birth.
Yes, what a bunch of pricks.
That's
yes,
right, that's
yes,
right.
I
You
know.
told me this a bunch of
So
times
I get to
before.
serve slop to you fucking soldiers all day for the next 15 years or so. And then I'll be a free birdie.
Oh my.
I chuckle from behind it.
Now move on there, pretty boy, please, because I need to serve.
Pretty
them.
boy tosses his
When
hair
was-
behind his ear with a little...
You don't have enough hair to do that.
Nowhere goes to the end of the line, and she just grabs the berry milk, and then she goes to sit down.
Okay.
I can sit down.
I'll go
You're
for
just
some
gonna go sit
berry
down?
milk and take my seat.
Zephyr.
So as they go by, I'm guessing they're done with their stuff.
Yeah, they
I
moved.
grab a tray and I go up to Glenda. I look at Glenda and I say, "So you say that's berry milk, eh? I will give you props. I've never been able to find the teats on a berry before to milk it. Does that take a lot to do?"
Wow, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel for people, aren't
Oh,
they?
absolutely, honey, they are.
You must have come from the slums, huh?
More or less. One slum similar to another slum.
Well, low IQ, probably great fighting prowess.
I am very prowessful.
What?
And so she stares at you, and you stare back at her, and she kind of does this thing with her hand, reaches in the cornmeal, crumbles, puts it on your tray, and she's like, "That be all, hornhead?"
You know what? I will cherish this. Thank you, Glenda. And I give her a little wink.
God damn.
Okay. She's like, "Move on, you satyr."
So, as I come up to Birdie, I'm guessing she's still doing her hair thing.
Yeah, she's messing with her hair.
I kind of stand right in front of her, just kind of nonchalantly, and I go, "Hey."
Did you really?
What the hell do you want, satyr?
Oh, I'm just very curious to see. I've not seen a satyr here before. What you say your name was again?
My name's B. You can
Your
call
name
me
is
B.
B? Then I shall call you B. So how long have you been here, B?
85 goddamn years.
Yeah, the 86 one's the worst.
Great, thanks. That's what I needed, is just a little motivational prep talk. Thanks. You're so awesome.
So, as she does this, I say, "You know, if you ever need any help from satyr to satyr, come and find me. I would like to do a persuasion roll on that one."
Okay, go ahead. I will roll. I rolled a 4. Great.
I know, I just got it here.
Do you have it right there?
I do.
I rolled a 4.
20.
20. So she kind of twirls her hair, and she kind of licks her upper lip, and she's like,
God.
"No. I've always wondered what it would be like to be with another satyr.
Well,
Oh.
do we...
Perhaps I could use some help later. And she kind of shrugs her shoulder and she's like, this chili really gets my shoulders all stressed.
I could definitely give you a massage if ever you need to. Just drop right by my room anytime you have a chance.
We sleep in barracks. I say this from across the room.
You don't know if that's a kink for Zephyr. You don't know Zephyr yet.
I mean, I'm sure it is, just from what I've seen.
Remember, I've been on a ship with a lot of men before.
A lot of semen.
A lot of seamen.
And so Birdie, because you persuade her, she's really into you now. And she kind of takes this ladle, this spoon, and she looks all the way up the spoon, and then she goes, and she scoops, and she just slides it onto your tray, almost like caressing your tray, since you persuaded her so well. And she's like, there's more where that comes from, goat boy.
My tail gives a little twitch. I give her a nice little wink.
And she goes,
Oh my god.
So I walk down the end,
Oh my god.
grab myself some berry milk, and go sit next to Dorian and Britta. You know that Birdie, she's quite a fox.
Yo,
I thought she was a goat.
do I have any insider knowledge on Birdie? The goat woman.
the goat
They're
woman.
called
Yeah.
satyrs.
The satyr.
You
I
know
know
that
that.
she would.
Satyr or
You know that
sadist?
she is
Why
promiscuous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, is she the Order of Cross and Shield bicycle?
Oh my god.
In a
She's a
sense,
satyr.
yes.
So yes.
Yeah.
That's not a question for you. That's a question for me. Never mind. Okay.
I already know that question, and I don't want to know the answer.
Do I suspect? Let me do a medicine check.
Are you
on-
jealous?
A medicine
Let me
check.
do a
Right?
medicine
Oh, I know where
Is
you're
he
going,
jealous?
Birdie. 'Cause
Is
I
he
was thinking
jealous?
the same
Does
thing.
Birdie seem healthy? Just in general.
Well,
I'm not looking for anything in particular here. I'm just doing
from
just a
visuals,
casual-
yes, she
yeah.
looks
I
like
can give you an
she.
advantage on that if you need some help with that. I do know satyrs pretty well.
Visually, she looks healthy. Her coat is like imagine an animal. Her coat is shiny.
Am I worried for the well-being of my recruit? Is he
knowing
going to walk away a healthy young satyr?
in
after?
game, based on what you would have seen and what we've dealt with so far, Zephyr wouldn't be the one you're worried about. Let's just say that from Dorian's perspective and what he's
Poor
seen.
Birdie.
Yeah, I would say that you're more like, oh shit. Because you've known Birdie way longer than Zephyr.
Yeah.
So even if she has been like the Cross and Shield bicycle up to this point, you still kind of are like, oh, but she's like young and stupid. Like, I don't want.
Yeah.
How old are you?
We're both in
97.
there.
Okay. You're
So
barely,
essentially in his 20s.
you're barely older than her. Okay.
Yeah.
And she
So now
doesn't
you
know her
guys
parents,
have
so-
sat down. You guys got some dinner. Some of you only got berry milk. Some of you got the cornmeal crumbles and goat chili.
Is
What do you
the
guys
goat
do now?
chili any good? Do I enjoy it?
You look over at me and I'm shoveling it into my face. It's pretty good.
Yes, it's good.
Okay.
You guys find it delectable. It's kind of like when you were when you were in school and you
Pizza
knew
Day?
they were making something that was always like good. So when there's like goat chili, because goats don't come through very often,
Yeah.
because Hightown usually gets all the prime meats, they usually get all the great livestock,
Mhm.
and the rest of what's left will go to the slums or the Legionnaires Guild to buy, essentially, because Hightown kind of controls the market in this area.
They're
While you
assholes.
guys act
Mhm.
like the law, essentially, you guys don't really have a huge effect on the economy because you guys really just deal with killing demons and the justice system. But Hightown, they're like, yeah, I'm going to buy all the best livestock. Then we'll give the scraps to the slums and we'll sell whatever the Legionnaires Guild wants to buy from us there.
Okay.
So what do you guys do now? You guys do still have the orphanage thing.
We gotta sleep first. It's like 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess we don't gotta, but that's my vote.
Why is that bunks?
Same place we slept last night.
Really? I'm interested. Do I get my own room?
No.
No, we all sleep together, bro.
Oh no.
Satyr, you keep to yourself.
To Captain Riggs, this is luxury because I'm usually in a bunk with like about maybe 3 or 4, 5 feet between us, between the next and other person.
A
So
hammock?
bunks in a
Hold on.
barrack.
A
Yeah.
hammock?
Since you were the captain, wouldn't you have your own room?
Well, I wasn't always a captain, but yes, essentially I would. But before I was a captain, yes, I had to be.
Can I do an insight? Were you really a captain?
Go right ahead.
Just so you know, we're not going to get anything done this session. Just so you know.
I am horrified about our next thing down the pipeline. So yeah,
I got a 14.
You got a 14.
What did
With my backs, do I get advantage on this one?
For persuade, yeah.
Yep. Oh shit! What'd you say you got?
14.
And you said insight, so
Yes.
is that going to go against my?
Would it be intelligence?
Or would it be like something else, like a specific skill?
His would be persuasion or deception, and then yours would be insight.
Okay.
Because either he's trying to make sure that she knows that he's convincing her he's a captain, or he's trying to trick her that he's a captain, and she's trying to insight check whether she believes
Gotcha.
and catches onto his bullshit or
I
tells
don't
her
want
the
you to
truth.
roll charisma, though.
Either
You have a
one's-
lot of charisma.
Either one, you got lucky. You got damn lucky.
I think you're
13.
Yes.
13.
So are you a captain?
Looking at his face with your insight check, you could tell that when he says captain, that's something his face changed serious to. It's like one of those micro expressions. Like every time you see Zephyr, he's always chuckling, happy, but anytime he mentions I'm captain, like there's almost a slight seriousness that leaks out in that expression.
So that makes me think that he was one.
Yes.
Okay.
And he at least takes it seriously. Like,
So why are you not on a boat anymore?
I think it's a ship, not a boat.
It's on water,
Ship.
whatever.
It's usually a ship vessel.
Wait, you're talking to me now.
Talking to who?
Well,
I'll take it.
I was a captain. I am a captain still. I was actually a captain for a very long time. But I also started as a first mate for probably one of my similar to Birdie. I never really knew my parents, so he sort of took me under his wing.
Is that a thing with satyrs? Is that a thing with satyrs to not know your parents? Is it the fertility
Unfortunately,
sprite thing?
Unfortunately, though we are more happy-go-lucky, most of my kind are usually only seen as
Hit it and quit it kind of people.
Sorry.
It
You're
gives
not
Dorian a
wrong.
look like insensitive.
You're not wrong. No, satyrs very, very rarely ever really grow up in a household with a mom or a dad. A lot of us are just because of our nature. We're an exotic. We are we're a commodity for one reason or another. But my captain, Reginald, was actually the only thing to a father I actually had. And when he passed, he bequeathed to me one of his finest ships in his armada. He used to be actually at the admiral level, but let's say his views did not coincide with some of the more eager individuals in his company. So he was demoted to captain. When he passed, he bequeathed to me a ship. It's called the Night Manta. Unfortunately, that ship is no longer part of my possession. So I am a captain, but unfortunately, I'm sort of in the market for a ship right now.
Does the Night Manta still float?
Yep, it does.
It's been taken.
You could say that.
If you don't mind me asking, by whom? I don't mean to pry.
Let's say I've made certain deals within my life that I wish I could take back, and one of which cost me dearly to what I have.
I pat him on the shoulder and I say, well, we are glad to have you aboard.
Thank you. I then take a huge swig of the berry milk and kind of walk out of the room.
That was awkward.
So Zephyr kind of gave you some insight into his life, and at the end of his story, he decided to just get up and leave you guys in what would be like the cafeteria area of the Legionnaires Guild. You guys don't see where he went off to, but you guys probably assume that he went to just go to bed and leave the information there with you guys to do with what you will. But this is the first time you guys have seen this side of Zephyr, so you guys do with that what you will. So what do you guys do now?
Before I go to bed, is there anywhere I can check for word on my parents?
You can check and see if any ravens have come. The Legionnaire Guild will have some sort of postal type thing. They kind of have birds that come in, drop their message, and so it's kind of weird because it's kind of unorganized. You would have to go to like their bird box area, and they'll fly in. The birds know how to like pull their note off their ankle, drop it in there, and fly away.
Okay. I'm going to finish my food and go do that.
I'm going to bed.
Can I go check the armory one more time?
Yes, you can. So we'll follow up with Britta first. You were going to the bird boxes. When you get there, you see that there are no birds present.
Mm-hmm. Is there any messages present?
Go ahead and do an investigation.
I have lots of investigation. 17.
17, you look in there and you can see that there are 3 parchments.
Okay. Are they like labeled with names, or do I have to open them and go through people's mail?
Yeah, they're not labeled. They have seals on them.
Do I recognize any of the seals with my 17?
Yes. So there are 2 different types of seals. There are black seals that come on ravens, and those are for everybody to read. And then there are gold seals, which come straight from the patronage, that only legionnaires can read.
Okay. What color are these seals?
There's 2 blacks and 1 gold.
I'm a legionnaire, right?
No.
You guys aren't there.
We're not there. We're the voice in your head.
Right. I will open the 2 black ones first.
Okay.
I'm allowed to open those. What do they say?
The first one says it says for any people in the Order of the Cross and Shield, please investigate the Beaumont orphanage, there have been dead children found in the premises.
I will tuck
Period.
that one into my pocket for later use. Next.
The other one says, for any of you who are seeking refuge or a place to recoup, Kaizo Raijin has opened up his mountainside home for anyone who is part of the Order of Cross and Shield.
I will make a mental note of that and put it back where other people can find it. And the third one had the gold seal on it. I'm going to take it with me and go find Dorian to open it for me.
Okay.
Dorian's finishing his food at a reasonable pace because he doesn't like to be rushed.
Good.
So Britta's making her way back to Dorian in the cafeteria area. We're going to follow up with Nowhere, going to the Legionnaire Guild's small armory.
I mean, we are a very tiny army.
Armory. And so when you get there, you can see that a lot of stuff has been cleared out.
Okay.
There's like 1 shield. There's like a tattered shirt that's left there, and that's about it.
That's it.
Things are running low.
How do they get provisions? Do we trade with farmers? Like, is there a regular truck that comes in every so often, every Tuesday?
Need cart.
A lot of the weapons, and armor, like we had mentioned before, was constructed at the Sanctum Draconis. There were blacksmiths there that were, legionnaire blacksmiths and, seamsters. A lot of the clothes clothes and equipment came from the Sanctum Draconis, and it's kind of like Cintas. They'd come in every little bit and stock up your swords.
God damn, the service charge is just so high.
Yeah.
Like, do we really need these guys to bring us swords? Can't I just go buy them?
Yeah, and I mean, it's not exactly
I'm just kidding.
Cintas. But you know what I mean. Somebody will come restock what you need based on what you need.
I did not order this much soap. These guys are just trying to get as much money as they can out of
I
me.
know I rolled so low.
And so if you are looking for newly forged things, you will have to figure out if there's anybody left to forge stuff for the Sanctum Draconis.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm looking for. Would I have any idea that would be at least one part of that? Would that be in the armory, or would that be somewhere else? Would I know that I could probably find at least one of the things here?
You probably wouldn't be able to find it here.
Damn it.
Thing I totally know you're looking for.
You do. I asked you about it over Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't know.
No, of course they don't know.
From whence comes food? Equipment and clothing used to come from the Sanctum Draconis. That's why we're dry.
Yeah, and the food comes from whatever Hightown decides to sell to.
Remember, he already
to the
explained
Legionnaires
that.
Guild.
He did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's why usually a lot of times you'll have goat chilies or various animal chilies
But where do we get our food?
from Hightown.
Are you
So
serious,
Heights-
Dorian? I just explained that.
Right?
So Hightown has farms and stuff locally that they buy from. Then there's Thetford, that is the harbor city that's close by as well. They do all their fishing and bring in the fish and everything. And so Hightown will get all the stuff in. They'll get their corn, fish, meat, cows, whatever they need. They'll take what they want from it. They'll give like the bones, fat morsels and stuff like that, the week old fish, to the slums to do with what they will. And then the Legionnaires Guild can say, hey, it looks like you're not using those hindquarters on that cow. Can we buy it from you? You're not using this amount of corn. Can we buy that from you? That type of deal.
So do I get like free hot dogs at the carts in town because I'm in the OCS? Flash my badge. I'm like, hey,
They don't
Not
like us.
necessarily,
I'm
no.
a cop.
No. See, while people in Hightown and Loxford all around kind of respect you, that has been lost in the last year and a half. And that's why the patronage was so big on you guys need to do favors for the local people, because we need to get their favor back. Because if we don't have their support, then in times of desperate need, I mean, how are we going to draft people to do something? How are we going to get help for anything?
That's why we have these three.
Basically, yeah. They said, go find us recruits, do good,
And you
receive
got stuck with us three.
receive good feelings from the people, and maybe we'll have the support of them again. Because you got to remember, in this last year and a half since Nafara has been back, Dorian and Britta out of game, evil seems to have just crept more and more into people. It's almost like a plague that's spreading. Not everybody is evil, but heinous acts have been more and more prone to happen, and things have been more violent. People are more eager to do bad than they are to uphold the old goodness that was in balance.
Cool.
So back to nowhere. You said there was a shirt there, right? Is
Yeah,
it
it's
just
like a tattered shirt.
just a cloth kind of?
Yeah,
shirt?
it looks like a sleeveless like tunic, but the buttons were like ripped off. So it's almost like a long vest.
Okay. Nowhere grabs that and just shoves that in her backpack, and then angrily kind of like kicks at the door and then goes to bed.
All right. So Britta, you get back to Dorian with the rolled up parchment. Argento, are you still sitting there?
I'm going to. I said I went.
He went to bed.
Okay, so Argento and Nowhere went to bed. Went to bed. Zephyr, you stormed off. Are you going to bed as well?
I heard Brexit. Did you guys hear Brexit?
I heard Brexit.
After a while, Zephyr will walk into the barracks. He looks like he's a little bit cooler, a little bit more of his jovial self, and he'll just head to bed as well.
Cool. So Argento, Zephyr, and Nowhere have headed to bed. Britta and Dorian, you guys kind of have a moment. If you need to talk about anything or discuss something, your new recruits aren't here with you guys.
So I approach him in the cafeteria again.
I'm having another berry milk.
I walk over and
They melt
hit him
those
on the head
berries
with
really
this
well.
message with the seal on it.
Dorian, Constitution check.
That's not very hard. Just
Saving
like
throw.
a little tap.
Oh, no. This is for his other berry milk.
Oh, okay.
It's just 2.
Yeah. It's fermented berries and fermented milk.
Goddamn.
So say Constitution saving throw.
So you can get drunk as
Do we have a
fuck, throw
nickname
up
for
at the
berry
same
juice?
time.
Do you what?
Do we have a nickname for berry juice at the OCS?
Berry milk.
Whatever you want to make up.
Thinking punch.
Thinking
Kahlua.
punch.
A Kahlua.
Tropical Kahlua.
Tropical Kahlua.
Constitution saving throw. Huh?
Yeah. I rolled a 7.
I need more space. 19.
19. So you're not drunk.
This and you can roll over here.
So what are you gonna ask him, Britta? You do hand him the parchment, correct?
Well, I hold it out to him I need you to open this.
Okay.
And then let me read it.
I steady myself a moment and. Is it a wax seal?
Is it a wax seal?
No, the gold ones are actually like a sliver of gold stamped around and wrapped.
No.
Is it worth anything?
It's solid
It's a
gold,
seal.
but it's not as much of a gold coin.
I tear it off and put it in my pocket.
Okay.
I snatch it back out of his hand so I can read it.
I
Okay.
open the yeah, Boba.
I needed you to open it.
I'm opening it.
Again,
I'm
you
reading
did.
it. Here, I read it. I'm the Legionnaire here.
That's why I asked you to open it.
I try to open it. Despite the lover's quarrel that is unfolded.
Not a lover's quarrel.
What does it say? You want to just improv?
No, you open it, this gold sealed thing, and it basically says it's from the patronage, and the patronage is saying to any legionnaires that are out there reading this, John Mason is on the hunt for an Alistair Sidian. Any information is required to be given back to the patronage immediately.
He's hunting for an Alistair Sidian. Spell it.
Alistair
Okay.
Sidion.
I put a couple Y's in there. That's fine.
It's the werewolf guy that you took notes on when we first started this.
Yeah. I was
Right,
gonna
right,
say
right.
I know that
Yeah,
name.
that's right. Good job.
You're not there.
Well,
We're
technically,
asleep.
No, but I remember that name. So
Go to detective school.
You're not like Randall over here.
You
Oh,
wish
yeah.
you were Randall.
Alistair Sidian. He's that werewolf guy, right?
I sigh,
Right.
and after hearing you read that out loud,
That's
right?
a weird vowel. Yeah, sure.
Okay. I kind of huff and sit down on the bench next to him and grab his berry milk and take a swig.
You ever fought a werewolf?
What about a werewolf? What?
I read this aloud.
I didn't remember that he was a werewolf.
Alistair Sidian, the werewolf, from episode 1, season 1. Season 2, episode 1.
There you go.
Can I do
You
a
know
history
what I
check? Because I don't remember other than recognizing the name.
You were there, right? You
That's
saw
why
him?
I'm doing a history check, because I
You
can't
do a
remember.
history check.
It's werewolf hunting time.
11.
11. So you recall that
I remember
Alistair
this.
Sidian is a minion, essentially, of Nefara, and he used to be in the Order of the Cross and Shield, but he was trying to heal various poisons and whatnot, and eventually, nobody knows the story 100%. Somehow, he contracted lycanthropy and disappeared from the Order of the Cross and Shield, and wasn't seen again until recently when Nefara rose to power.
Okay.
But he was on his way to being a Master Legionnaire, so the name is well known. So if he didn't leave, he would have been a Legionnaire.
Okay. Thank you. I think we have other fish to fry. We don't know anything about this guy.
Any other mail?
Nope.
I'm asking
Sorry.
There was a general notice for help at the orphanage again, so I think that's pressing. And then something about, what was that guy's name? Kaizo Raijin opened his mountain home for people to rest.
All woods are made up.
So.
You're not there.
I mean, Kaiser says that.
How about we sleep on it and strike out in the morning?
For the orphanage?
Oh, I hate children.
Well, they've been turning up dead, so.
That's okay. No, I'm just kidding. We should go help the brats.
All right.
Great. I love children.
All right, so everybody is now going to sleep. Everybody is sleeping. Zephyr, you are laying in your cot, and
Oh no.
you feel a piece of cloth go over your eyes. What do you do?
Who's in the cot next to him?
That'd be a good question, too.
So there's about 8 beds per barrack room, and so you guys can order yourselves however you guys want to. Similar to marching.
Did you say barrack?
Similar to marching order. I'll let you guys choose which cots.
I'll sleep next to him, guys. It's okay.
Nowhere is.
Is he in between people, though, or is he on the
There's
end?
4
Are you
I'm
on the end?
I'd
Okay.
be on the end.
There's 4 beds on each side of the walls.
Can we get a map?
Yeah, I can draw it.
So are you talking like 1, 2, 3, 4?
No. Or
There's no
1,
bunk
2,
beds,
3,
right?
no.
It's
No,
just
no bunk beds.
Okay, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Correct.
Mhm.
with an alleyway down the middle.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be over in one of the corners, either one.
I'd be on the opposite corner of them,
She'd
making sure that
absolutely be.
no one is by me.
I'll be across the aisle from Zephyr.
Okay.
Next to him.
Do I
Okay.
sleep?
You're just sleeping right next to him.
Yes.
Okay, I sleep in the same quarters as everyone else.
We beast race
Even though-
have to stay together.
Even though I'm a legionnaire.
Hey.
You
not
ain't
that
special.
You decided to go lay with them. You didn't
Whoa.
ask about other rooms, so
Who would I ask?
people there.
The dungeon
You
master.
could always ask, but you did not. So
I want to like really connect with my people. So
That's the lie he's telling himself.
So what do you do, Zephyr? You feel this cloth go over your eyes.
I smirk and I go, "Oh, okay. This is one of my favorite ones. Shall
So
I
he's
be
talking.
the police officer or shall I be the crook?"
Does anybody wake up?
No, this is done pretty quietly.
Okay.
And so then you hear
Wait, since I'm closer to him than her, do I hear anything?
do a perception check at disadvantage,
I can do that.
Argento.
I'm passed out.
And Zephyr, you hear a and then you feel this cloth tie over your eyes behind your head. And then you feel that this person goes to tie your hands on the headrest. What do you do?
I go with it, baby.
All right.
I just go with it.
You're gonna
10.
get murdered.
You do not hear this, Argento.
Okay, thank God.
And so you get your hands tied to the headrest and you are blindfolded.
Can I? Okay. As this person is tying my hands to that, can I do some sort of check to make sure that one of my fingers or whatnot is in between the knot or something? Some sort of way.
Go ahead
To
and make a
quick
sleight of
release?
hand.
I am not good at this one, so this
Slide
could
your
be very
forearm.
interesting.
Slide your forearm forward into it. More space.
Oh, 6.
I rolled a 9.
Oh,
So you are not able to slip one of your fingers into an easy escape part of this knot. You are tied up 100%. And the person says, "Shh, I'm going to take care of you.
He's good.
I've always loved horns." Cut to the morning.
None of us were awoken by
no.
No.
No, after he realized, he was probably like, I can't make any sound. I don't want them to know.
So you guys awaken, and Zephyr, you
She's
are
your
still tied up and blindfolded.
But am I I'm smiling though.
Yeah.
I'm smiling and I'm like,
Do we notice this?
I wake up.
Yeah, you guys are all in the same room. So when you guys wake up, you guys just look over and you see Zephyr.
What the fuck?
No.
What the fuck?
No performance check there.
You made me.
I don't think it mattered.
He wasn't the one doing
I wasn't.
the business.
Performing.
So
Nowhere looks.
Constitution check.
Nowhere looks over at the mess that is known as Riggs and shakes her head and just walks out. I don't
Is
want to
he
know.
at least covered again?
he's got the blankets over his waist, yeah.
Okay.
But he's got
We're respectful of those who are also in the room with us for the most part.
You didn't have any control over it.
I didn't. Let's say that she was an angel that touched me just in the right places.
Nowhere's definitely out of the room. She's gone.
Do you need any help there, buddy?
If it's not a bother, just this left one. That'd be nice.
I'll untie him.
Wow.
Oh,
you
thank
guys can hear a pounding at your barrack door and someone screaming on the other side.
Somebody else get
What does it
that.
sound like?
Open the door.
I just walked out.
Are they screaming something in particular?
Oh yeah, so Nowhere just walked out and the door closed behind her, and as she left, do.
Did I notice someone like running by me?
No, they were like, you just walked out and they came after you. Like,
Oh, okay.
Like the other way.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
do.
Why'd your mouth much?
Open this door right now.
I'm not getting that.
Right now.
I'm not going to.
You dirty satyr. Open this door right now.
Is there another
I go.
door? Is there another door?
No, there's a window though.
That's a good thought.
Sneak out the window.
Are we on the second floor or first floor?
I think there's only one floor at this barrack.
Yeah.
I would check with this DM.
This
Who
is
is
a
great.
this is a ranch style legionnaire.
What's the ranch?
Do I successfully untie him?
Wait.
Yes.
Is it a raised ranch?
No,
Okay.
it's a one level
Let's sneak out the door.
building.
I mean,
Door.
window.
The window. There you go.
And you can
Oh,
hear
that's cool,
keys
guys.
jiggling outside of it now. Almost
Oh,
somebody is.
I'm already up there by the door. I'm already
Jump out the
there.
window.
I think.
I
Thank you,
just
dear.
kind of sit upright in my bed
Argento,
and watch.
Go ahead and make a strength check.
Oh, jeez.
What we straight checking?
19.
19.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 20.
Oh,
That's why I said, oh no. So you guys see Argento. He's kind of like, who's at the door? Who's at the door? He's freaking out. He runs and goes to jump out the window and bounces off the window.
Wouldn't that count as an agility check though?
No, because you're trying to break through the glass.
Oh.
Why didn't you just try to open it?
And
Goodness.
so you ran to try and jump through the glass window, bounced off it onto the ground, and you guys can hear jingle, jingle.
I'm already by the door. I'm like,
Click.
I'm still
Go
worried
stealth.
about it. And as the door gets pushed open, I grab the handle and I just gingerly open it up and block the door so she can't get in with myself. And I say, I missed you.
Is he
You're
wearing
wearing-
What do you mean you missed me?
I don't know.
Huh?
I was not expecting you to not take me up on my offer.
What is the satyr wearing?
Oh,
Is he wearing pants?
I'm wearing pants. I've got
Okay.
pants
Fresh
on.
out of bed? Wow, okay. All right.
After the night
I'm
you
very
had?
agile. Remember, I was on a ship, bro. I had to be
put this back on you.
I had to be
She
I had
probably
to be
didn't take
dressed at a moment's notice on a ship.
I go check to make sure Argento is okay.
He seems fine. He seems like he just took a nice bounce off the window.
Okay.
Go ahead and make your stealth check, Argento, at disadvantage.
Fuck it.
I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 5.
So somehow you like stumble over to behind one of the cots and go stealth. And so she's like, "What do you mean you missed me? What do you mean I didn't take you off on your offer? What do you think I am, huh? What do you think? Dexterity saving throw."
Or I cough.
Hold on.
I rolled a 6.
Natural 20, so 24.
So she's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" And she comes up with like an iron skillet, straight up, like she was gonna hit you, and you kind of step back and swing.
Can
and
I?
she's like, "Stand still!"
Can I? As she pulls this up, can I simply grab her hand and bring her in close to me?
He rolled a 20.
He
Yeah,
did roll a 20.
Go ahead. So you bring her in close to you.
I bring her in close to me and I said, "I'm sorry. She caught me by surprise. It's quite an accomplishment to catch Captain Riggs off his feet."
His hooves.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
You don't have feet, you have hooves.
I rolled a 6.
That's why it's an
You have to beat a
accomplishment.
6.
He simply grew feet out of his hooves.
Don't be so serious.
13.
So she's like struggling. She's got the pan in her hand, and she's like, "Ugh. Well, I guess you didn't make the choice.
I did not.
I was just really hoping I would be your first in the Legionnaires Guild."
I'm sorry, dear, and I bring her head in close and I give her a little kiss on the forehead and give just a little twitch on her horn.
Should there
Just-
be any disciplinary action for Miss
Just
Linda?
trace her horn, just like she
What?
traces her hair across her horn. I take my finger and simply trace her horns, and I'd be like, "There'll be many other times, my dear."
Should there be disciplinary action against my subordinates?
And
who
so
have
you
raised their
can,
hand
and
against
so
me?
you guys see
Sure.
this interaction between Birdie and Zephyr, and they're getting close. He's somehow calmed her down with his charm and persuasion.
That's what he does.
And from behind them, you can see coming to the front door is Glenda with a tray and some berry milk and what looks to be resemblance of eggs. And she's like, "Zephyr,
Mm.
I brought you breakfast."
Oh, well, thank you, Glenda. That is
And
very kind of you.
Birdie turns around
Oh no.
and she's like, "You're a slut." And just walks past Glenda.
I stifle a chuckle just at the thought of Birdie calling Glenda a slut.
I decide to get up out of bed at this point, and I start to get dressed and ready for my day. Shoes on and shit. I don't say anything. I just let this go.
I walk by him with Glenda on my arm, and we go back to my bed, and we have dinner in bed, or breakfast in bed.
I think to myself,
No
"To
funny
each his
business. We're
own."
just sitting on the cot like two friends talking.
Yeah. I look at his bed. Yeah.
It may have sunk down a bit more. You don't know. Looks a little bent,
Oh my.
but still durable.
What are we talking about? The bed?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I leave.
Breakfast.
Nowhere's in the cafeteria.
Unself, get dressed, leave. That's what I'm doing.
I'm going to breakfast. I don't know about you guys.
As I'm heading out the door, I call back to Zephyr that we need to meet up in 15 minutes.
He's got time. Don't worry about it.
Girl, I only need 10.
That's no,
So
That poor
is
woman.
everybody except Zephyr going to get breakfast?
nowhere's already there.
I got my breakfast.
So you guys get to the line and you guys get over to like what would be like the sneeze guard kind of. You guys like,
They have-
holy
wait.
crap!
I'm sorry. They have a sneeze guard
Mm-hmm.
Of course they
made
do.
out of
Glass.
Stone.
stone.
So we can't see
Stone
the
sneeze
food.
guard. So I have
You
no
can
idea
like
what's
see
behind
what it is, like a sliver of what it is, but they have
Okay.
like a stone sneeze
It's
guard.
actually a very
Okay.
intricate sneeze guard. It's actually rock that's been shaved away so much that it's actually translucent.
it.
But
Right.
still able to see through it.
That'd be cool. He's like, whoa, what are the chances? You guys gonna have breakfast with me this morning, okay?
All right.
Okay?
Randall. How's it going, Randall?
Oh, it's going great. I have I've been teaching Tony a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Where is
he's I'm here.
Is he around?
You can see him and Tony are serving.
Okay. Well then.
Where's nowhere?
She's
Sorry.
first in line. And so he's like, hey, you want some of our food?
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
I'm here for the jokes.
Well, today for breakfast, okay, we have scrambled salmon with carrots.
I love me some fish.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I know.
I'm not here.
And then we have over here, Tony's serving goat bacon.
Goat bacon.
Ooh, that sounds like
Is that from the belly or the back?
I don't know.
Somewhere someone hears a chuggle from Zephyr. That's
You're not even there yet.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there's an inn and there's a
Goat
tavern.
bacon.
So there's the inn
Can you get
I'm gonna go
goat
to the
bacon?
Get food.
in Hightown.
You're going in Hightown by yourself.
Yes, I have the orders markings. I'll be okay.
So Argento walks out.
We're gonna let him be
Everybody,
unchaperoned again.
Perception check to see if you see him leave. Except Zephyr, you're in the room, so you don't see him. There's the Marigold
Plus.
Inn, and then there's the Brandy Toad Tavern.
I'm going
18.
Brandy toad.
7.
Britta does not see him
I
leave.
thought we were done ripping off Lord of the Rings.
Shut up. What did you roll, Dorian?
23.
23. So nowhere, and Dorian, you guys see Argento walk out of the Legionnaires' breakfast area. You don't know his intentions, but you just see him walk outside. Britta, you don't see him. Zephyr, you don't see him.
I furrow my brow, but I don't care enough to get up from my food.
Can I notice like that his reaction to that? Because
So
I would have
you
looked.
both kind of look, and you're like, "Where's Argento going?" But you see Dorian like, "I need breakfast."
Fish boy's going off somewhere.
You're just going to let him go.
Guess his coffee yet, guys.
Did I hear her?
You don't
ask him,
care?
Yeah.
He'll be back. Where's he gonna go?
Who's leaving?
Hightown. We are in Hightown. Do you forget that he's a fish?
People should respect him for just being in the OCS.
I drop my tray and I go after Argento.
Can I follow nowhere?
I'm gone.
I go back to my eggs.
And then I flip off
Or
Dorian
salmon.
as I walk out.
Scrambled salmon.
I follow nowhere. I'm not quite sure where she's going, but I want to make sure
He's like, "Oh,
That
you
our
guys are
recruits-
leaving.
Hold on
Okay.
a second.
I'm not
Why-
unaccompanied.
Dorian, you'll get double dipping.
Why would you scramble salmon? Like, who's ever scrambled salmon before?
Dude, this is
This is Randall,
this
bro.
is Randall.
Okay, whatever.
You know, he's not an idiot, but he does do weird things.
Okay.
You better hope to God that scrambled salmon is cooked.
Yeah, it is, right? I mean,
So
I'm
he
eating it.
grabs this ladle and he gives you 2 scoops of this scrambled
Oh,
salmon.
I've been eating it.
You didn't get served yet.
What you talking about?
We were still in the line
Yeah,
waiting
it was
to get
nowhere Britta
All right.
than you in line,
All
and
right.
Britta nowhere left.
I haven't had my coffee yet.
And
Coffee.
Coffee? What's wrong with a cup of coffee? You don't know where I'm from.
And so Randall gives you 2 big scoops of the scrambled salmon,
Place your guess in the comments below.
and then Tony gives you the next piece of it, which is the goat bacon.
Yeah.
So he gives you a couple like slices of goat bacon, and then he's like, if you want something to drink over there, there's gonna be the berry milk as well for breakfast.
Thanks, man. I go get
No.
myself some.
Thank you,
I
Dorian.
go get some berry milk.
You saved me.
I saved you. Yeah, I guess.
And
You're
so
right.
they-
I did save you. You're welcome.
Oh my God.
All right, so you go to sit down and eat, Dorian. Zephyr, you're eating with Glenda already. Argento, you are walking through town. It's early morning. You can see people are avoiding you, looking at you, staring at you. Dexterity saving throw.
I love that. I have a shit ton of
I rolled a 1. You're lucky.
18.
18. You successfully dodged 3 tomatoes that were thrown at you.
Oh.
Oh, it seems like you're getting faster, you gill neck.
I want to do some little.
and this kid runs through the alley away.
Oh my god.
Throwing knife. I've got 2 throwing knives. I can use it. Throwing knife.
You're gonna throw a knife at this kid.
We'll see if I have a quarter, and if so, if it's a heads, then yes.
Leaving it to fate.
Do we arrive
Wait, give me,
How far away are we? Well,
I
how
didn't
far
live
away am I?
that long after
Alright.
him?
Evens,
You
I throw it.
you
Odds,
guys
I
see
don't.
this.
Let's go for odds.
Evens, I throw it.
Oh, he throws it.
So you guys see him dodge 3 tomatoes, and he's starting to pull a knife out of his thing, and
I run and tackle him.
he's going to throw it right now.
Force cage.
Force cage? Oh no. Okay, go ahead and make another dexterity saving throw at disadvantage, Argento.
14. I almost said 18. 14.
14. Rolled a 15.
Oh.
So you throw your knife, like you don't even know Britta and them are there. You don't see this force cage go up because it's like this magical glass containment thing. You throw it, it bounces off of it, hits you in the shoulder and sticks, and you take damage for your knife.
Oops.
And you
Saved
don't
a
know
child.
what just happened.
I just took 7 damage. It's okay. I have 30.
It was all
Oh,
good.
fuck.
It's all good.
What the fuck just happened? I was throwing a knife at that kid over there because he was a dick, and it just bounced up and hit me in the shoulder. What happened?
Can we hear him?
You're
Or is
talking
it like
to
muffled?
yourself.
Yeah, you can hear him.
Okay.
You can absolutely
Kind of
do
like you can hear him through a window, basically.
I stick.
So it's slightly muffled.
Yeah.
I pull it on my shoulder, by the way.
Okay, go ahead.
Boy, I don't
Nowhere.
pull the knife out of my shoulder.
Dexterity saving throw.
The force cage is still around me though.
Nowhere.
Her.
Not Argento.
Yeah, you're safe.
Oh, I rolled at 18.
I'm about to
You-
force cage some children.
You should wear a hat over those horns and like a pound of foundation over your,
Just drench myself
Yeah.
in fucking human makeup.
at least in Hightown. Hightown, funk you up.
Hightown
funk
funk
you up.
22.
Yeah.
22.
Oh, damn.
Good.
Go ahead, little fucker.
So you can see, you're seeing him talk, and from the corner of your eye, you see something flying from the top of a building, and you take a step back, and something splashes on the ground. It splashes on your boots and stuff, but doesn't splash all over you. And when you look at it and smell it, it was a bucket full of crap. And someone from the top says, "Sorry, I didn't see you there."
I'm reaching for my my crossbow.
I finished my lunch or breakfast. And
Well, you don't know what's going
You
on.
don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but I'm done by now. I walk out after them. I'm like, where are my recruits gone?
I'm reaching for my
I'll come
crossbow
back to
right
you.
now. Like very slowly, like fucking do it.
I
I'm gonna
sure
kill
hope they're not
someone.
getting into trouble.
They're good kids. They're doing fine.
We're still enjoying breakfast.
Nowhere
Wait, you're
beginning
you're
to
gonna-
angrily, kind of
I'm getting
almost
breakfast for all you know.
sarcastically, halfway seriously reach for the
Morning.
crossbow.
Citizens! I kind of step forward, my little shrimpy self.
Oh my.
A little 5'5"
These people have saved your lives. Show them some respect. Persuasion.
I was about to
Go
say,
ahead,
you
roll
don't know.
persuasion.
You don't know if I've saved anyone's life.
That was not a roll. It was a drop. 15.
15. You successfully persuade him, and they're like, "Sorry, lady. Look, I didn't know she was there. God, but I'll leave it alone." And he walks away.
I'm
back
also
to
like,
his
that
house.
was in general for anybody in the area sort of thing.
So what do you guys do now?
Well, we can't go anywhere because the cage.
I am going to berate Argento before I let him go. Don't try and kill children when we're trying to make people like us.
Kill the
Sure, I'll do that, okay? Quotes around everything.
Insight.
Insight. Go ahead.
See if he's lying.
Make a deception check there, Argento.
Where is it?
Oh.
8.
16.
And you believe him with his air quotes and everything.
Can I kind of like lean to the glass a little, like go? At least don't kill kids when that one's around.
At this point, Dorian, you are starting to walk up. You can see a pile
Just
of what
left
you
Zephyr
assume
there.
is
Yeah.
mud, and you see tomatoes in the street.
I know mud from shit.
Well, from a distance, it looks like mud.
What's your intelligence? Are you sure?
This guy is smart. The other guy is not.
Okay.
This one has
So
a great
yes, and as you get closer, you can
16
smell
plus 3.
this puddle of crap that was dumped on the road, and you can see the tomatoes. You can see Argento is in a force cage for an unknown reason to yourself.
Huh. I look at him and I just say, huh. And I look over at the others.
Hi, how are you doing?
I
How
see.
was your breakfast?
Do I notice the
I bet it was
splatters
great.
of
What
shit?
did you
I
have?
ignore him. I kind of just push him out of my mind's sphere. And I notice the shit on her boots. And I look over the scene and I'm like, am I able to piece together what happened here pretty
Yes.
well? Do I need to roll for it?
No,
It's
you
just like,
kind of understand Hightown and probably what went down here.
I'm sure you guys had a great plan. Just walking out here.
Yes, it was brilliant, actually.
Let's hear it.
But
And I steel myself for a couple minutes.
it was simple. I was going to leave the guild, which I did. I was walking over to the Marigold Inn to have some breakfast because I was not eating that slop. It was terrible. Just by judging it. Plus, it was fish. I'm a fish. It's terrible.
You didn't try the goat bacon. It was pretty
No,
good.
well, I'll try it next time. But I was going to go over to the Marigold Inn to see what they had for breakfast because I was not eating that trash.
That bad, huh?
Yes,
You'd rather pay than eat a free meal.
honestly.
I thought you were the most excited about 3 meals a day when I first mentioned that, but
I
whatever.
was, but I honestly had a higher standard when you say 3 meals a day.
Did you get your breakfast?
Not yet. I haven't been able to since I was force caged.
He tried to kill a child.
He tried to kill a child. Okay. I'm sorry.
And I would have done it too. I have a +9 on these throwing knives.
Let's hear your take on this.
We walked up. I saw some children throw tomatoes at him, and then he pulled out a throwing knife. So I force caged him, which I think is a pretty logical move.
Is this true, Fish Boy?
No.
Insight.
Deception. Argento, roll a deception check.
Got it.
16 plus intelligence,
You
right?
beat
Not
me.
insight.
No, it's not intelligence.
It is wisdom, so that's even better. And I have proficiency in that shit, so it's +6. So 24. You were gonna kill a kid.
You threw a tomato at me. I don't see why that's a problem.
Tomato? Throwing knife.
You really,
Cool.
In life.
you really don't see a problem with that.
No, not really.
Really? I try to assess his mental health. Well, let's make it a medicine check. Like, this guy thinks it's okay to kill kids. Racist children are still children, unfortunately.
I think we should confiscate some of his weapons.
I say no. Hold on, because you can't.
I feel like
you cannot
that
take my sword away.
we ignore you and look at each other as, I feel like that would make him even less useful.
At least take away the throwing knives. That way we have a little bit more time
Listen,
to intervene.
Don't kill kids, please. Like, if I really need to say that, apparently I do.
Fish, remember what I said.
That's not good. Killing kids, bad.
Yes, killing
Yeah.
kids, not good, but not terrible.
No. Terrible. Pretty fucking terrible. These people already hate you just because of the color of your scales. Please don't give them another reason. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Persuasion check. Like, please don't kill children. Is this a
Okay.
big ask?
Make a charisma saving throw since you're persuading him.
Like, don't kill kids.
Oh.
A 9 plus persuasion is charisma.
Can we do a
That's
group persuasion? I would like
12.
to help persuade him.
I got a
Leave me
12.
out of it.
Let's see what he got.
We'll leave it between them for now.
Okay.
0.
How do you even roll a 0?
Negative.
I have
Negative.
-1
You
on charisma.
failed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I failed. epically.
You are enthralled in this message he is giving you.
Don't kill children.
And you take this. He
Thumbs up.
persuades you. Since you have a -1 and you took a 0,
Well, yeah.
Unless
persuasion,
I tell you otherwise.
this killing child thing, unless he tells you otherwise, this ingrains
Thank
into
you.
your heart.
Shit.
Thank
Like
God.
you take this. I
Oh, you
will
still
not
got
kill
two
a
others.
child unless Dorian says
You're
so.
a little more.
You take that
I don't want to say
very
reasonable.
seriously.
Reasonable.
And I'm only saying that because you rolled a 0.
Like it's an ideal now in his character. sheet.
Basically,
I'm putting in all caps in large. I
yeah,
can't
this
kill
like
kids.
almost.
Unless
I
he
mean-
tells you.
Unless I say it's okay, because once in a while you just can't save him.
Zephyr, are you still chuckling and doing whatever with Glenda?
Nah, we
Is
finished
that a
up.
problem?
I'm walking by using a toothpick to pull some goat bacon from my teeth as I see him berate Argento.
We're outside.
Who's
We're
still
in
in
my
a force
I know.
cage.
Okay.
Yeah, and by this time Zephyr's decided to make his way over after eating breakfast, and he's got a pig. Probably,
I'll release you
there's
now.
no, like toothpicks, so I imagine maybe a dagger
Could
would
be.
be
It's a
fitting or
dagger.
something.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Picking
You
your
have a
teeth.
dagger.
I have multiple daggers.
Picking
keeping
this
my
goat
daggers.
bacon out of your teeth.
Is that like cannibalism, or is it more akin to me eating a monkey?
Why are you eating monkeys?
I'm just saying.
What's a monkey?
We're above
Oh, that's
table
it,
here.
man. My next phrase is gonna be monkey.
It's like- okay,
Uh,
so I kind of tell that there's like some kind of difficulty with the not killing kids thing, and I'm like, are there any children you were planning on killing? Sorry, I want to make sure I wrap this up before we like let this go.
No.
Okay,
Deception.
insight.
I mean, you can't kill them now, so
I mean, unless I say it's okay.
Yeah,
Apparently.
and you take that to heart.
Wow.
Happens when you roll 0.
Fuck. Damn it! Can I keep it on the table?
I don't know where to go.
It's under the dog.
Oh no, I found it. It's
My Aaron's foot. No, is it?
I got a 16, by the way.
Oh. I think
Hello there.
I was gonna say what it was.
All right, gotta be a 16, Dorian.
17 plus
Damn.
4.
Shit.
21.
So you could tell
I'm
that
sorry.
he was like, no, there was no other
Insight is
children I was
proficiency.
gonna-
I've got plus 6.
So he
that's
goes,
23.
no, there wasn't any children I was gonna kill, and you're
All
like,
right.
those ones? Bullshit.
Let's talk about that. Which children were you planning on killing?
Those, the ones we ran into. Wait, were the ones we ran
Yes,
into?
the same
Same
ones.
ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
Same
I was
Same
just
one.
gonna, I was just gonna kill. Yeah, I was just gonna kill them.
Fish boys list. Let's see. The tomato throwers. And who else?
No, it's just them.
Just them.
For now.
For now.
Yeah, we might.
Everybody a perception
Like,
check.
I hate children, but I don't like want to kill them. Because eventually,
Damn, there's a dog. That's
someday,
a dog.
they may become useful members of the Order of Cross and Shield.
Everybody perception check.
11.
11.
Everybody.
I'm changing dice.
12.
This dice is
21.
great.
That one's in timeout.
Bye.
Plus perception. 9.
Oh, good. I rolled better than you.
Okay, so Zephyr is the only one that can hear these two people walking by. They kind of walk past your group, but they're keeping their distance because they see who's in your group. And he hears slightly, oh man, I'm so glad I didn't grow up as an orphan. Could you believe that woman's killing children out there and getting away with it?
Okay, sorry, I don't hear this.
My ears perk up as I hear this.
What do you? Wait, do I notice this?
No, you're in a force cage. You don't see shit, bro.
It's clear
Can I hear
in
this?
this world.
Sorry, who did
Can I see him?
Only
Zephyr.
Zephyr.
Only Riggs.
Can I
Only
see him
Zephyr.
doing this?
Yeah, did we notice that his ears suddenly from down
You're
here
being
go?
interrogated about killing children.
You guys would notice it, but because of his normal
Conspiracy
activity, it
children.
wouldn't be like, oh, there's something different about him,
Oh,
kind of
okay.
ear raised.
What
It's
do we
just-
hear? What do you hear, boy?
Boy.
What do you hear? What is it?
Just slightly muffled.
He's not a boy, he's a kid.
Oh, and they begin. And that's I only discern that they're saying, "Can't believe that she's killing those kids."
Who?
No, I'm not telling this to you guys. I'm just
Oh.
throwing this stuff in my head right now, and I hear this, and I walk over to the group of people, and I let them, my group of adventuring friends, and I let them do. Are you Are you guys? And I literally say, are you guys about finished here?
Huh? Oh, yes, we are the adventuring friends.
Well, that couple over there may have gave us a little bit of a lead
What?
on what's going on at the orphanage.
What are you talking about?
Can it be released now?
I
It's
look
not
at
up to me.
Argento
Would we
and
need
his
to move?
age, and I say, like, I went to an aquarium once.
Can you feed the fish?
I'm leaving him in there.
I'm kidding, Argento. I'm kidding. It was more like a pail of water.
I'm not gonna this.
Okay, what did you hear?
Apparently, what do you guys know about the orphanage? Do you guys know of a lady in charge of said orphanage?
We have to.
I don't know about that, but we did, in addition to the thing we got on the notice board yesterday, another thing arrived at the guild last night, requesting help that children were turning up dead at the orphanage. That's what we were going to talk about this morning before we had to go deal with this fiasco.
Can I hear this?
Yes.
You can hear us.
I still
you're
haven't
all
eaten.
together listening to
I
this.
still
Neither
haven't
have
eaten yet.
neither have I, because
Okay.
I went after
Was
you.
there any mention in any of your communications about a woman of some sort
Would
at
we
all?
know anything about a woman at the orphanage?
You guys just know that there's different caretakers at different times, and the one that's been there currently has been there for about the last 15 years.
Okay. But we don't know if it's a woman?
You know that it's a woman. Yes.
Okay. All we know is that there is a woman in charge. She's been there for about 15 years, but...
Well, apparently, according to those two individuals that just walked by, word on the street is that she's the one killing them.
Can we still see those individuals?
Now they're probably gone by
No,
now.
by the time he listened and everything, they turned the corner and disappeared.
Nope.
Because he didn't see them. He just was
I just heard them.
Yeah.
you know how deers kind of
Mhm.
can hear things
Yeah.
from places. He picked it up like in ambience almost.
Okay.
Did you say deers?
Deers, yes.
It's like schmelting all over again.
Well, no, that was
Sashimi.
possessive.
Sashimis or
Deers.
shrimps.
No, you do not add an S
The
to
plural of deer is deer.
Yeah.
But I wasn't saying
Deer.
plural. I said possessive.
Oh,
if it is
dear.
possessive, it is still the deer's antlers.
Here we go
Oh,
again.
okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
I'm
wasn't
sorry, I'm
listening
not
close.
grammatically
Was that it?
perfect.
Were you saying
He said the
deer's
deer's
antlers?
ears.
Deer's
The deer's
ears.
Yeah, you know, I was
Okay.
talking about a singular deer and his
Okay.
ears.
I'm sorry. My ears perked when I heard deers, but never
Deers.
mind.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We will
Can
never
you let
talk
the
about
fish out,
mooses then.
princess? She's there.
Mooses. It's meese.
Do we need to move yet?
Yes, I would
Aren't
like to
we
eat.
going to an orphanage?
Yes,
I wasn't sure
we
if
are.
we made that
All of a
decision yet.
sudden I decided to be leaderly. Yeah, let's go to the orphanage. Come on. Ranking up
I can't,
file.
I
With,
can't move.
Release him. He's good. He's not going to kill any kids. Unless I say so.
Wink,
I-
wink, out of game. Remember your rank, too. Wink, wink, back in game.
I do a little bit of a deal with my fingers, and I'm using minor illusion. I put on a cloak on top of my head, so no one
Okay.
can see my
May I be
antlers.
released?
I released
yeah,
the
come on.
fish while staring down Dorian.
What?
Yay!
You think you're in charge.
Do we have any,
Minor
like,
illusion.
Fish.
any kind of signet?
Fish.
Or do we have any insignia that denotes that I'm a higher rank than
Sneaky.
she is? Like I've got 3 bars and she's got 2 or something.
No, it's basically just what's said. It's what's said and what's known.
It is known.
Do we need to get food for the two of you before we go questing?
That would be perfect.
Let's not do it
I pull
here.
some goat bacon out of my pocket and I give it to you.
That's
There you go.
great. Breakfast on the go.
I pull out some for nowhere and I offer it to her. You want some?
She didn't eat. You didn't eat.
I went after him.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Drop down and give me 30. Sorry.
I have
No,
some.
I don't.
I have some.
Want 30.
I guess kind of trail mix. Since
Oh, I have rations.
because of my background, I would have that. So I pull out a little bit and I nibble on it.
And I just eat it. I just stick it in my mouth and take a big chomp out of it.
So you guys aren't going to do anything before you go to the orphanage?
Do we
Are you
want to check the
suggesting
board
that
for
we
anything
should?
else?
I think this is pressing if children are winding up dead, unfortunately.
I guess.
All right, let's go.
I already said that.
Yeah, but nobody actually listens to you.
So,
No one listens to you.
I
so
know.
you guys get yourself together. You
Except
gather
for Fish Boy here.
yourselves.
Ain't that right, Fish Boy? Sorry.
You can punch him.
You guys
I will punch him.
Well, I've set that reaction now.
But we don't know that.
So Argento goes to punch Dorian and takes his reaction. He dodges out of the way, and he kind of looks at you like, ha, I'm getting used to this.
That's not a
And
good
now
thing.
that you guys have let
Throwing knife.
Oh, did we see
Argento,
his throwing knives yet or
Really?
No, that's
No.
not. No.
no? Oh shit.
Dude, I have almost plus 10.
and now you guys have
Mistake.
let Argento out of his force cage. You guys have gathered yourselves, and you guys have decided that you're going to go to the orphanage and investigate what is going on. And so we will visit that in the next episode.
Like I said, we did nothing that